In recent years, few cases have captured the public's attention quite like that of Jeffrey Epstein. His name has become synonymous with scandal, secrecy, and unanswered questions. Today, we embark on a detailed exploration of the Epstein Files, a collection of documents, testimonies, and records that have sparked global debate. Our journey begins by understanding who Epstein was, why his case matters, and how the files released under the 2025 Transparency Act have reignited calls for justice and accountability. Let's start by examining Epstein's background and the events that brought his story to the forefront of international headlines. Jeffrey Epstein was a financier and convicted sex offender whose connections to powerful individuals made his case particularly explosive. Born in Brooklyn, New York, Epstein built a fortune through finance and cultivated relationships with politicians, celebrities, and royalty. Despite his wealth and influence, rumors and allegations of criminal behavior followed him for decades. His 2019 arrest on federal charges of sex trafficking marked a turning point, thrusting his activities and associations into the public eye. Understanding Epstein's background is crucial to grasping the significance of the files and the controversies that surround them. Epstein's case matters not only because of the crimes he was accused of, but also because of the broader implications for justice, transparency, and public trust. The involvement of high-profile individuals and the persistent secrecy surrounding the investigation have fueled widespread speculation. Many see the Epstein Files as a test of the legal system's ability to hold the powerful accountable. The controversy has also highlighted systemic failures in law enforcement and the justice system, raising questions about how such crimes could go unpunished for so long. July 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on federal charges of sex trafficking minors. The arrest reignited public interest in his activities and connections, leading to renewed scrutiny of those in his orbit. Epstein's arrest also exposed failures in previous investigations and plea deals, prompting calls for greater transparency. The fallout was immediate, with politicians, celebrities, and institutions distancing themselves from Epstein and demanding answers. The stage was set for a legal battle that would ultimately be cut short by Epstein's controversial death in jail. Weeks after his arrest, Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. The official ruling was suicide, but the circumstances surrounding his death have fueled conspiracy theories and public distrust. Questions about jail protocols, surveillance failures, and the timing of his death have never been fully answered. Epstein's death meant that many questions would remain unresolved, and attention quickly shifted to the documents and evidence left behind. The controversy over his death continues to shape public perception of the case. Epstein Files refer to a vast collection of documents, testimonies, flight logs, and records related to Epstein's activities and associates. These files were released in part under the 2025 Transparency Act, following years of legal battles and public pressure. The files include court documents, witness statements, and evidence gathered by law enforcement. However, much of the material remains heavily redacted, and many questions persist about what has been withheld and why. The files have become a focal point for those seeking answers and accountability. Inside the Epstein Files are thousands of pages of court records, depositions, and investigative reports. These documents detail allegations against Epstein and his associates, describe the scope of his operations, and reveal the extent of his connections to influential figures. Flight logs from Epstein's private jet, often called the Lolita Express, have drawn particular attention for listing high-profile passengers. Despite the volume of information, many names and details remain obscured, fueling ongoing speculation and debate. The 2025 Transparency Act was a pivotal moment in the Epstein case. Passed in response to public outcry, the act mandated the release of government-held records related to Epstein's activities. While the act aimed to promote transparency, it also allowed for significant redactions to protect ongoing investigations and personal privacy. This balance between openness and secrecy has been a source of ongoing controversy, with critics arguing that too much remains hidden from public view. Despite the release of the Epstein Files, much of the content remains heavily redacted. Names, dates, and key details are often blacked out, making it difficult to piece together the full story. Officials cite ongoing investigations and privacy concerns as reasons for the redactions, but critics argue that this undermines the goal of transparency. The secrecy has only fueled further speculation and conspiracy theories, as the public is left to wonder what is being hidden and why. Epstein's saga began long before his 2019 arrest. Early investigations in Florida during the mid-2000s uncovered allegations of sexual abuse and trafficking involving underage girls. Despite mounting evidence, Epstein secured a controversial plea deal in 2008 that allowed him to serve minimal jail time. The handling of these early investigations has been widely criticized as a failure of the justice system, and many believe it set the stage for the later scandals and cover-ups. In 2008, Epstein reached a plea agreement with federal prosecutors that allowed him to plead guilty to lesser charges. He served just 13 months in a county jail, much of it on work release. The plea deal was kept secret from his victims and has since been condemned as a miscarriage of justice. This episode remains a central point of controversy, raising questions about the influence of wealth and power in the legal system. Maxwell, a close associate of Epstein, has been accused of recruiting and grooming underage girls for abuse. Her arrest and subsequent conviction in 2021 brought renewed attention to the case. Maxwell's role is extensively documented in the Epstein Files, with testimonies and evidence linking her to key aspects of Epstein's operations. Her trial shed light on the inner workings of the network and the methods used to evade detection for so long. During Maxwell's trial, witnesses provided harrowing accounts of abuse and manipulation. The testimonies revealed the extent of the exploitation and the strategies used to silence victims. The trial also exposed gaps in oversight and accountability, with many questioning how such crimes could persist for years. The evidence presented in court forms a significant part of the Epstein Files, offering crucial insights into the case. One of the most striking aspects of the Epstein Files is the breadth of his connections. The documents detail relationships with politicians, business leaders, academics, and celebrities. These connections have fueled speculation about the extent of Epstein's influence and the possibility of elite protection. While not all individuals named in the files are implicated in wrongdoing, the sheer number of high-profile associations has kept the public and media intensely focused on the case. Release of Epstein's flight logs has been one of the most talked-about aspects of the files. These records list the names of passengers on Epstein's private jet, including politicians, celebrities, and business leaders. While the presence of a name on the flight log does not imply wrongdoing, the logs have become a focal point for speculation and investigation. The public's fascination with these records underscores the broader concerns about transparency and accountability. Between 2025 and 2026, several batches of Epstein-related documents were released to the public. Each release was met with intense scrutiny, as journalists and the public pored over the files for new revelations. However, the releases were often incomplete, with significant portions redacted or withheld. This piecemeal approach has frustrated those seeking full transparency and has led to ongoing debates about the adequacy of the disclosure. Central controversy surrounding the Epstein Files is the tension between transparency and privacy. While many argue that full disclosure is necessary for justice and accountability, others contend that privacy rights must be respected, especially for individuals not charged with crimes. This debate is played out in courtrooms and the media, with no easy resolution in sight. The balance between the public's right to know and individual privacy remains a contentious issue. Allegations that Epstein received protection from powerful individuals have persisted for years. Critics point to the lenient plea deal, the secrecy surrounding the files, and the reluctance to prosecute certain associates as evidence of elite protection. While some claims remain unproven, the perception that the wealthy and well-connected are shielded from accountability has fueled public outrage and conspiracy theories. Secrecy and high-profile nature of the Epstein case have made it fertile ground for conspiracy theories. From questions about Epstein's death to speculation about hidden evidence, the lack of clear answers has allowed misinformation to flourish. Social media has amplified these theories, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. The proliferation of conspiracy theories has complicated efforts to uncover the truth and hold those responsible accountable. The digital age, misinformation about the Epstein Files has spread rapidly. Viral claims, often based on incomplete or misleading information, have shaped public perception of the case. Fact-checkers and journalists have worked to debunk falsehoods, but the sheer volume of misinformation has made this a daunting task. The spread of viral claims underscores the importance of transparency and responsible reporting. Media has played a crucial role in bringing the Epstein case to light and keeping it in the public eye. Investigative journalists have uncovered key details, challenged official narratives, and pushed for greater transparency. However, media coverage has also contributed to the spread of speculation and, at times, misinformation. The media's dual role as watchdog and amplifier of controversy is a defining feature of the Epstein Files saga. Public reaction to the Epstein Files has been intense and sustained. Protests, petitions, and social media campaigns have called for full disclosure and accountability. Many see the case as emblematic of broader issues in the justice system, including the influence of wealth and power. The demand for answers has kept pressure on officials to release more information and pursue further investigations. Epstein Files have prompted strong reactions from politicians across the spectrum. Lawmakers from both parties have criticized the limited releases and called for congressional hearings. Some have introduced legislation aimed at increasing transparency and accountability in similar cases. The bipartisan nature of the criticism reflects the widespread concern about the handling of the Epstein case and the need for systemic reform. In response to public and political pressure, several congressional hearings have been convened to examine the handling of the Epstein case. Lawmakers have questioned officials about the redactions, the decision-making process, and the steps taken to ensure accountability. While the hearings have provided some answers, many believe that more needs to be done to address the underlying issues exposed by the case. Demand for accountability has been a constant theme throughout the Epstein Files saga. Victims, advocates, and the public have called for those responsible to be held to account, regardless of their status or connections. While some progress has been made, including prosecutions and policy changes, many believe that true accountability remains elusive. The ongoing debate reflects broader concerns about justice and equality before the law. Release of the Epstein Files has had a profound impact on the victims of his crimes. For many, the files have provided validation and a sense of justice, but they have also reopened old wounds. The public nature of the disclosures has brought renewed attention to their stories, highlighting the importance of supporting survivors and ensuring their voices are heard in the pursuit of justice. Epstein case has exposed significant failures within the justice system. From the mishandling of early investigations to the controversial plea deal and the secrecy surrounding the files, the case has highlighted gaps in oversight and accountability. These failures have prompted calls for reform and greater transparency, not just in the Epstein case, but in the handling of similar cases involving powerful individuals. In the wake of the Epstein Files, lawmakers and advocates have proposed a range of legal reforms. These include changes to plea deal procedures, increased protections for victims, and stricter oversight of investigations involving influential suspects. While some reforms have been implemented, others remain under debate. The push for change reflects a broader desire to prevent similar failures in the future. Epstein files have underscored the importance of transparency in high-profile criminal cases. Public trust in the justice system depends on openness and accountability, especially when powerful individuals are involved. The debate over the files has sparked broader discussions about how to balance transparency with privacy and the need to protect ongoing investigations. Handling of the Epstein files has had a significant impact on public trust in the justice system. Many see the case as evidence that the system is biased in favor of the wealthy and well-connected. Restoring trust will require not only greater transparency, but also meaningful accountability and reform. The lessons of the Epstein case continue to resonate in debates about justice and equality. Despite the release of the Epstein files, investigations into his activities and associates are ongoing. Law enforcement agencies continue to pursue leads and examine evidence, while journalists and advocates push for further disclosures. The ongoing nature of the investigations means that new revelations may still emerge, keeping the case in the public eye. Epstein case has had international ramifications, with investigations and legal actions extending beyond the United States. Authorities in other countries have examined Epstein's activities and connections, and some foreign nationals have been named in the files. The global scope of the case underscores the need for international cooperation in addressing crimes that cross borders. Technology has played a significant role in the Epstein files saga. Digital records, surveillance footage, and online communications have provided crucial evidence. At the same time, technology has enabled the rapid spread of information and misinformation about the case. The intersection of technology and justice is a key theme in understanding how the Epstein files have shaped public discourse. Whistleblowers and leaks have played a role in bringing aspects of the Epstein case to light. Some documents and information were made public through unofficial channels, raising questions about the ethics and legality of such disclosures. While leaks have sometimes filled gaps left by official releases, they have also contributed to confusion and controversy. Release of the Epstein files has been the subject of ongoing legal battles. Victims, journalists, and advocacy groups have filed lawsuits seeking access to additional records, while officials have argued for continued redactions. These legal disputes highlight the challenges of balancing transparency, privacy, and the integrity of ongoing investigations. Advocacy groups have been instrumental in pushing for the release of the Epstein files and supporting victims. Organizations focused on survivors' rights, transparency, and legal reform have played a key role in shaping public debate and policy responses. Their efforts have kept the case in the spotlight and ensured that the voices of victims are not forgotten. Epstein files have had ripple effects on related cases, prompting new investigations and legal actions against other individuals. Some associates have faced charges or civil suits as a result of information revealed in the files. The case has also influenced how authorities approach similar allegations in the future, with increased scrutiny and calls for reform. Epstein case offers important lessons for the justice system. It has highlighted the need for greater transparency, stronger protections for victims, and more robust oversight of investigations involving powerful suspects. The failures exposed by the case have prompted calls for systemic change, with the hope that future cases will be handled more effectively and fairly. As the debate over the Epstein files continues, calls for reform remain strong. Lawmakers, advocates, and the public are demanding changes to ensure that similar failures do not occur again. The push for reform extends beyond the Epstein case, touching on broader issues of justice, accountability, and the rule of law. The challenge of balancing openness and privacy is at the heart of the Epstein files controversy. While transparency is essential for accountability, privacy rights must also be respected. Finding the right balance is a complex task, requiring careful consideration of legal, ethical, and practical factors. The ongoing debate reflects the difficulty of achieving both justice and fairness. Media's handling of the Epstein files has raised important questions about ethics and responsibility. Journalists must balance the public's right to know with the need to avoid sensationalism and protect the privacy of those not accused of wrongdoing. Responsible reporting is crucial to ensuring that the pursuit of truth does not come at the expense of fairness or justice. Looking ahead, the future of the Epstein files remains uncertain. Ongoing investigations, legal battles, and public interest ensure that the case will continue to evolve. As new information emerges, the files may provide further insights into the failures and challenges of the justice system. The case serves as a reminder of the importance of vigilance and accountability in the pursuit of justice. Epstein files matter because they represent a test of the justice system's ability to confront powerful interests and deliver accountability. They have exposed systemic failures, sparked public debate, and prompted calls for reform. The files are more than just a collection of documents, they are a symbol of the ongoing struggle for justice, transparency, and public trust. Epstein case has laid bare the systemic failures that can occur when wealth and influence intersect with the justice system. While some progress has been made, much work remains to ensure that similar failures do not happen again. True accountability will require continued vigilance, reform, and a commitment to transparency at every level. In conclusion, the Epstein files have become a touchstone for debates about justice, transparency, and accountability. They have revealed the challenges of confronting powerful interests and the importance of systemic reform. As we reflect on the lessons of the Epstein case, it is clear that the pursuit of justice is an ongoing process, one that demands vigilance, courage, and a steadfast commitment to the truth.